So who is the idealized Sanaya? Like, if you were really being that person, who would you be?
Oh, just like someone who's really like fun and like funny all the time, and just doesn't like, just people like want to be around and stuff like that.
So he's always in a kind of upbeat, positive mood.
Yeah.
Is it possible though that if that idealized Sanaya is always positive, always happy, always in the right mood, that in a sense other people may feel less able to open up to her because they wouldn't want to feel like you feel, which is that they're the one that's being the drain or the one that's kind of being needy because this person always is positive and happy. Or if that idealized Sanaya was actually more realistic and actually asked for help sometimes, talked about how she felt, would that not make others feel safer and feel more comfortable?
Yeah, no, they would definitely feel safer and want to be more open with me and things like that.
Yeah.
Sure.
Because in a sense, it strikes me that your idealized self actually isn't very ideal.
Yeah, probably.
Right? Because I feel like what it does is it makes other people feel, almost puts a spotlight more on them because they're always the one that's a bit low mood or a bit sad or a bit fed up or whatever. But this idealized Sanaya is always positive, always happy. Whereas actually if she's a bit more authentic, everyone else then gets permission to be more authentic.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I do see what you're saying.
Really the secret to working with it is working with your inner critic. Because what feeds this idea of the idealized self is this constant, we all can have, criticism of you're not good enough, people don't like you, you're not this, you're not that. So then the effort to deal with that inner critic, the effort goes in to trying to be this idealized self. But actually what's better is to put the effort into stopping the inner critic. So then you haven't got the pressure and the drive to have to be it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just a lot of, I mean, I knew that I had a lot to do on my inner critic, a lot to work on, I mean. But yeah, it's just hard.
It is, and a big part of it is having the awareness, right? So just the very fact that we're talking about it the way that we are is hopefully helpful. But there's the awareness of when it happens at the moment, but more in hindsight, you can see different examples of when the inner critic has played out. The real trick is to be able to catch it as it's happening, because then you can actually do something about it in that moment. Yeah.
It's just, one of those things which is easier said than done.
Yeah.
But it's definitely something that if I find myself having a bad day, like I will kind of reach out and...
Well, in a sense, what you need to do is to go and build more positive memories of being emotionally honest.
Yeah.
Like the more times you do it, like you described, the easier it then becomes next time. But it's almost like the more we don't share how we feel, the more that we shut it down, like the bigger the monster of the fear becomes, and the more difficult it feels. Yeah. But each time you talk about how you feel, and remember, we're not talking about becoming this person that's like a massive energy drain on everyone else. We're actually talking about being honest about how you feel in that moment, which then actually, if you do need some support from someone, it actually makes that more possible. Like it's inviting people to be emotionally closer to you.
Yeah. I think I do have like a few experiences of when I have opened up, and this is like in the past though, like throughout uni or even sixth form, because I don't think I was particularly not open. I think I was very open.
Yeah.
And not necessarily being shut down, but just kind of being told that maybe like my problems weren't as big as their problems or so-and-so's problems. And I know that that's a good way of coping sometimes, because I'm like, okay, I just need to put it in perspective. But obviously it kind of, that's just like belittling like how I feel.
Yeah, it's not about having bigger or smaller problems or someone else as being more important. It's about being emotionally honest about how you feel, not with everyone and not in every moment, but more of the time.
Yeah, I do. And I do know that with the friends the ones that I would go and talk to, I would never get any reaction like I have had before. And they would never shut it down or anything like that. So I do know that, but I guess could be just because I haven't had the best experiences in the past. And then I have thought, oh God, like they must think I'm so annoying and like.
But again, I think that's your inner critic, right? Your inner critic story about what people thought in the past, what people might think now, what they're going to think in the future. But if you do open up to someone and they reject you in that, or each time you share how you feel, they're sort of disinterested, I would say it's probably quite important information about that person, about that friendship.
Yeah.
Right?
True. Yeah.
Like at the end of the day, having friends is about having people that you can be yourself with. And if being yourself causes a divide, then that's important to know.
Yeah.
Because it's a lot of work trying to be someone else.
Yeah.
So I would really encourage you in the coming few weeks to go and like reality test this. Like to go, because you've had some negative experiences in the past, to go and collect, 2, 3, 4, 5 initial experiences of, and it doesn't have to be a massive deal. It can simply be, how are you feeling? Oh, I just feel a bit deflated and fed up the last couple of days. Or it could be, oh yeah, I've just been a bit more worried about what's coming up. Like it's just being, it doesn't have to be big necessarily. It's just being true and being honest.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess, and it kind of, I feel like would help me a lot, because I won't feel so deflated after seeing like them and forcing myself to be.
Well, that's the thing. It takes a lot of effort to try to be someone else. But also if how you're feeling is a bit, let's say, a bit sad about something, and then you spend 2 or 3 hours hanging out with a friend and you don't tell them how you feel, if it doesn't change how you feel, sometimes it might just be in a residue of an old feeling and it pops you out of it. But if you're still feeling that way at the end, it's actually really lonely.
Yeah.
Like to feel a certain way and not talk about it and feel like we're going to be rejected if we do. And then you spend time with a friend, but you're not really there.
Yeah.
Because you're having to spend the effort kind of hiding or trying to, put on a performance.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think it does boil down to like this fear of like, being rejected or something. But I know that won't happen, but it is still there. So it's something
it won't happen in your mind.
Yeah.
We need you to know that in your heart.
Yeah.
So your heart then has the courage to then express yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes sense.